What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is Season 12 Reunion Part 2. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into this episode review. Alright, you guys, this green screen is blowing my fucking brains. I have now recorded this scene for like the 10th fucking time, and I'm irritated at this point. So you might not get the same energy that I've been given to it the past 9 times. But this episode, it started up, well, no, it did not start up where we ended. Because last week's episode ended with the girls arguing with one another and Andy trying to get control of the situation. So this episode picks up with the conversation that we had last episode when Portia was talking about the fact that Kenya said that she was going to go after Cynthia. And she sent Andy and Kenya, you see, I'm frustrated. Portia sent Andy and Cynthia the text messages from Kenya to Portia. So Andy, and I did watch Candy speak on her word. Cynthia addressed it and she said that basically it wasn't what Portia was making it out to seem, that it was more so the fact that Kenya was venting about Eva. And Andy said that she was venting about Eva and the fact that, she felt that Cynthia took up for Eva, which I don't understand why Cynthia takes up so much for Eva when Eva had some shady shit to say about her last season. But if that's what Cynthia wants to do, I'm going to let Cynthia live and have that. Now, I do respect Cynthia in one aspect, and I'll tell you guys what that is. So I respect Cynthia because she's friends with Kenya and she was friends with Eva. And when those two were talking about it, when those two weren't cool with each other, Cynthia never mentioned one in front of the other, and she never said anything about, she never let one say anything disparaging about the other in her presence. So I do respect that. So then Andy also asked the question of, when it comes, he asked about, he tried to make a comparison with, Eva and Kenya's relationship with Cynthia compared to Nene's. I'm not going to talk too much about that because that is a slippery slope that I just don't want to go down, you guys. So then Andy does ask Cynthia and Nene, where's their relationship currently? Now they both say they're in a good spot, but they're not where they once used to be, which we can definitely see that. And Cynthia says something that I'm going to agree 100% with her on. She says about Nene that she doesn't feel that Nene takes accountability for anything that has happened in their relationship, and I'm in agreement with that because Nene will never agree to the fact that she tried to get Cynthia fired on Watch What Happens Live. So I'm gonna agree with that. So then we talk about Cynthia being in LA with her new blended family and how are things going with that relationship. She says that it's good and bad, and I can imagine that. And they ask her about the fact that she really trying to have a baby with Mike. She says no, she was joking, which we know you were joking, but we're gonna let you have that one. And then Andy also asked the question of the young lady that's been in some photos with them. Who is that young lady? She says it's Noel's girlfriend, and as long as Noel is happy, she's happy. So then Andy asks how are things going with Marlo and her nephews. Marlo says that being a Monty has really changed her. I would hope so. Nene says, yeah, it's definitely changed her. She doesn't go shopping as much. I'm like, that doesn't mean much, but okay. So, they talk to Kenya and ask her how she feels about being a new mom. She's, in bliss and she's happy. Then they talk about Portia. They ask her about the fact that, she's outgoing and all, she's so funny and stuff. But little PJ, she be on, because I follow Portia, you guys know I follow Portia on Instagram. Anytime she posts little PJ, now there are times that she has posted PJ and she's laughing and smiling, but for the most part, PJ don't be with the shits. Like PJ be like, girl, if you don't leave me the fuck alone, I'ma cry. But she's happy with that. Then Portia talks about, then we bring up these whole shady comments between more so her, about Kenya. You guys, I don't feel no type of way about these. I really don't feel any type of way about it. I know Kenya did. She addressed it on Watch What Happens Live. That, she thought that she and Portia were in a good spot. But to see her shading her on the show, I mean, in the interviews, I mean, y'all all pretty much shade each other. You shaded her about the whole dinner situation, and we all laughed at. Like it was fun shade. Everything that Portia said about her was nothing bad. She said she was a shopper of Go Naked Hair. What else? It was a lot of stuff, but it was just fun shade. Um, like I don't understand it, but it's apples and oranges to me. To be quite honest with you, if I see somebody shading me on TV, I'm like, oh, okay, that was fun. If it was funny, I'ma laugh. If I didn't find it funny, and if I have your number, I'ma text you and I'll be like, well, what the fuck was that? Like, what was that, Portia? But whatever. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't care about the shady comments from Portia. I don't care about any shady comments from Kenya. I don't care. That is what I mean. That is Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac, especially the black shows. Potomac, Married to Medicine, these Atlanta housewives and Married to Medicine Los Angeles. In the interviews, you're being shady towards the other person. But if Kenya didn't like it, Kenya didn't like it. I don't give a fuck. Don't really care. Um. Now I will say Kenya felt that with Portia being shady, it was more so because of Nene. I don't know. Don't care. So then a viewer asked about the whole. I think it was either a viewer or it was Andy asking about this whole Portia, Shamia, and Kenya situation. Now, um, oh yeah, viewer asked did she make up the Shamia story. Kenya said no, she didn't make up the story. That she posted the receipts on Instagram. I mean, on Twitter. And I read you guys those receipts a few weeks ago when that episode aired. I read them to you right after the show, and I did my review. And those receipts were bullshit. And even Portia said those receipts were bullshit. Those receipts were before she even had her bait went into labor. And Kenya says that it was just a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Why did you have to mention the thing that I have a question is why did you have to mention Portia at all? That was where I couldn't understand why mention Portia. But Portia says that Shamia says she hadn't talked to Kenya. Blah de blah de blah de blah. Let's move on. All right, so a viewer asked Kenya the question: when it comes, they like her being shady, but why does when it feels like when her shade has like repercussions or something like that, or has consequences? Why does she seem so surprised? Kenya says she doesn't feel surprised. All she's doing is matching energy. I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I don't necessarily know if you matching energy because I feel like when Kenya comes at a person, she goes super duper low. You might disagree with me. That's your opinion, but I believe that she kind of goes low. And I'm gonna give like only person that I was okay with her going low with was that goddamn Kim Zolciak Bierman. I was okay with that until she called up. I wasn't here for her calling the woman's kids baby kids. I wanted her for her talking about Brielle, even though Brielle jumped into that drama and Kim posted that stupid shit on Twitter about whose dick she got to suck with John Legend tickets. Why would you post that of all things about like why would you post that shit? Not the smartest thing in the world to do, but I was here for it, but I wasn't here for it at the same time. Um So then Marlo asked her the question of, so why did you feel the need to come to my event and fuck it up? Now here's where Kenya had me kind of confused because she started to deflect and she was like, well, was it funny when Portia and Shamia drank the water out of my products at my product launch? And I was like, that wasn't Portia and Shamia. It was literally just Shamia. And Portia said, that wasn't me. And Kenya said, whatever. I'm like, Kenya, but it wasn't her. So what are you talking about? But and then I was confused as to because Portia and Shamia, more so Shamia, drank water out of your products. Marlo was not invited. I'm pretty sure I don't remember if Marlo was even there. If she was, Marlo was mute. But I don't remember Marlo being at that party. But even still, what did that have to do with what did Shamia drinking water out of your Kenya Moore hair care product? What did that have to do with you coming to Marlo's event making that whole production. It, I don't. It made no sense to me. Then a viewer asked a question about Marlo. You know, how would she feel if someone told her nephews the same stuff that she told Kenya? Now Marlo tried to say that, well, you know, that was about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't. Now Marlo, I was just defending you, but now I'm going to go against you. I don't give a fuck how many years ago that was. That was low as hell for you to talk about the fact that Kenya's mama didn't want her. I mean, she knows that. She knows that, but that was, I felt like that was a real low blow of Marlo to do that. Like, it was really a low blow. Um, and then Kenya says that at her, you know, at Marlo's wig line, she said it again, and they played the clip of her saying, you know, she doesn't know unconditional love. Um, that was a. I will say that was low as well, Marlo. That was low, but you know, Marlo, I don't think you would like it if someone told your nephews that they mama didn't want them. So then, you know, Kenny and Marlo gets into it, and they start talking about, you know, Marlo talks about the fact that Kenya changed men, and then she says, "Girl, the only man that you've ever had on this show is the one that you and Nene was fucking at the same time." I was like, "Oh shit." Now, see, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with some people on Twitter when that preview of the reunion came out, and you know, Kenya was talking about the fact that Nene and Marlo both fucked the same dude. I knew who Kenya was talking about. She was talking about John that Nene was dating when she broke up with Greg, and the one that Marlo got with. But they said that it was Charles Grant. I'm like, I don't think so, because Nene never admitted to even dating Charles Grant. Did she? You got? Did Nene? Let me know in the comment section. Did Nene ever admit to dating Charles Grant? And I think, you know, Marlo was just using him to get on the show. I don't even really remember if Marlo and Charles Grant were really a true couple. But you guys can let me know in the comment section below, and we'll discuss it. So then Andy asked. Now here is where I was like, okay, Andy, you doing a good job. So Andy asked Kenya, why is it okay for you to attack Marlo's business when you say that, you know, the businesses should be off limits? Basically, you know, Andy called her out on her bullshit. Called her out on her bullshit. It's a double standard, and she's contradicting the fuck out of herself. Because so here's Kenya's excuse as to why she came at Marlo at her wig event. She said the reason that she came at Marlo is because at the Bailey Q, Marlo was talking about the fact that her Kenya Moore hair care products at her launch 3 years ago, 3 4 years ago, had a water in it. I didn't understand that. Again, that is something that happened years ago. If your product is out now and you have actual, you know, shampoo, I don't know anything about Kenya Moore hair care, you guys. I have hair, but I don't have a lot of hair. But I don't know anything about it. So if you guys, I mean, if it's stuff in there and people are buying the stuff, what the fuck do you care about? Yes, we saw it on TV. You had water in the shit. No one cares. As long as people who support you are out buying your stuff, it doesn't fucking matter, Kenya. Like, it really don't matter. So then we move over, and you know, Andy asked Kenya about calling Tanya a "see you next Tuesday." Now she said that she felt bad about it. Do I believe Kenya? No. I'm gonna have to be honest with you guys. I don't believe Kenya. I believe Kenya felt bad once the show. You know what? I think I'm gonna tell because she didn't apologize. I don't know if she apologized before the show aired or not. But I will say that Kenya probably somebody might have sat down and talked to her and be like, "Girl, you just called her a see you next Tuesday. When the fans see this, they gonna eat your ass alive because that's not cool." So I think Kenya probably had a moment after filming that scene where she was like, "You know what? I fucked up and I need to apologize to Tanya." So, you know, that's how I feel. You know, if you guys disagree with me, that's on you guys. That's your opinion. And it's okay for you guys to disagree with me. Let's move on. Alright, you guys. So next, I don't know who Andy was asking this question to. It might have been Kenya. But, you know, he asked her about Nene making a comment that, with Kenya bringing a cookie later around, that everything that happened with Mark was her karma, and how does she feel about that? And she says, well, she brings up the interview that Nene did on Angela Yee's lip service, where she was talking about the fact that Nene was messing with someone that works for her, and she said, "So did you deserve that?" And since Kenya's asking the question, of course Nene's gonna say, "Yes, I deserved it." And I'm like, "What? Huh? Okay, whatever, Nene, if you say so." And then Nene goes on to say, "Well, shit, you and Mark not together, so who is he sleeping with?" She said, "You're right. You're right. He could be sleeping." And I'm like, "Oh my god. So you really okay with saying that your husband could be in New York sleeping with different women? If that's what you want to say, I'd be like, I'll eat." Oh, when Nene asked that question, I don't know. I wouldn't have answered it the way that I definitely would not have answered that question the way that Kenya answered it. I would be like, well, at least, there, damn, man, nothing she could have said. Because I definitely want to, I definitely want to, form my answer to say he could be, but at least he's not sleeping with the help. Um, yeah, I just want to. I'm so sick of those fucking people. They are getting on my nerves. I'm so ready to move out this apartment. Yeah, I don't know how I would answer that question. That was one question I'd be like, you know what, girl, I'm not. Ooh, I'm not gonna dignify that question with a response. I probably would have said that. I would have said that. So then we talk about the Toronto trip. So Kenya says initially at that table she was not talking about Tanya. I'm like, well, who are we talking about? Now, I will say that before we even got the backstory about that, I actually did think that she might have been talking about either um, Portia or Candy. And they both said that they thought it for a few seconds, but then the more she went on, even Candy said the more she went on, she was like, you know what? I realized she was talking about Tanya and not me. So then, Cynthia chimes in and says that, she confirmed to Tanya that, Kenya was talking about her. And then, Portia chimes in and she says, Andy, Portia from Atlanta got a question. So she asked Tanya if she believed that Kenya acted alone in bringing the cookie lady to light. Um, in this instance, I'm actually going to say I believe yes. Kenya acted alone. I don't think Cynthia was in on bringing a cookie later to that sit down. That was all Kenya. Then Eva decided she wanted to chime in. I'm like, Eva, please do me the biggest favor and shut the fuck up. I really wanted Andy to mute Eva's microphone. I feel like Eva, when it comes down to Eva, I feel like Eva is trying too hard to solidify her. I actually have to agree with fucking Nene. I feel like Eva is trying way too hard to solidify her peach for season 13. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. That's all I do. I feel like she's trying to solidify her peach. I feel that way because she didn't have any issues with anybody all season long, but here she is at the reunion speaking up. She's speaking up on Tanya, on Nene, on Portia. Now I know I saw some people talking about, oh, Nene said some stuff about Eva online after the season wrapped and everything. You guys, and you guys know I'm not really one to defend Nene. I like Nene from the past, the fun Nene. This Nene I don't care for, but I'm going to actually defend Nene in this situation because the situation was someone asked her what did she think about Eva, and she said she thought Eva was boring. I'm not gonna say she was boring, but I don't remember what her storyline was. I really don't. What was her story? What was her storyline this season? So she first, so the first half of the season, her storyline was changing Marley Ray's name. Correct, you guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was her first. That was the first half, and then once that was done, All she had was the pregnancy. So that was her storyline this season, changing Marley Ray's name and her pregnancy. So where did Nene tell a lie at? I wouldn't say that her. I wouldn't say that she was boring. I would say that her scenes were just not memorable. That would be what I would say. And she could take it however the hell she want to take it. I really don't give a. I wouldn't give a fuck. But I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not gonna say she was boring. I'm just gonna say she was forgettable and she was not memorable. She was just completely forgettable, because like you saw, just for a few minutes, I had to pause and ask what was her storyline, and that's just it. But but like I said, I think Eva is just doing a whole lot. Um, but they do bring up the fact that on the after show, Cynthia did say that she invited the cookie lady to Brooklyn's party or whatever party it was. Why did Cynthia do that? I don't know. Then we mentioned the fact about Candy and Portia getting into it when Candy did her speak on it, and she said that she didn't have a comment about the cookie lady, and Portia said that no comment says a lot. Which actually, honestly, Candy, it does say a lot. When a person says no comment, that means that they're gonna there's something. When a person says no comment, they're saying that because there's more they could say, but they just choose not to say it. So she was correct. But Candy tries to defend why she didn't say anything. I don't care. Let's move the hell on. You guys, I think you're gonna get a long video tonight from me with Real Housewives of Atlanta. I didn't think it was gonna be long. So, we talk about Candy and Blaze. Candy says that she feels more connected to Blaze, despite how she was brought into this world. She didn't think that she would, but she's here to tell people no matter how your child comes into the world, you'll still have that same connection. She has the same connection with Blaze like she does with Riley and with Ace. Um, she says that everything is good in the family. Is good with Todd and Kayla, and with her mom and Todd. And she addressed this on her speak on it, and she addressed it on the show as well. She brings up the fact that Mama Joy saw that episode, and she said that her mama's feelings were hurt because people were saying on, I don't know what people were saying, because I read the comments on Speak on it. I read the comments on Twitter about that episode of the finale night. Not one person, I mean, there were people that were saying that Mama Joyce was trying to protect the money because that's what she was talking about. But the majority of people were talking about, and I even said this in her comments on Speak on it, is not the fact that people feel that Mama Joyce is after your money and protecting your money for herself. It's the fact that Mama Joyce is disrespectful as fuck to Todd. Like, you want Todd to respect your mama, but she doesn't respect him in return. Respect is a two-way street. Like, to get respect from me, you gotta give me respect. Respect is something you earn. It's not something that you're giving just because you old. Like, don't disrespect me. If you disrespect me, I'm gonna show you the same disrespect that you show me. So that's my whole situation with Candy. We talked about Eva and Marley Ray. She said that she was sued by Kevin McCall. He wanted the name reversed back. He wanted custody of Marley Ray, but we all know when he went to court down there in Atlanta, he got arrested for fighting with that guard. And now I'm not gonna talk about Eva's story with him. I'm not gonna diminish the fact that she said that she was abused by him, but her story was hella interesting. Cause I was confused when Eva was talking about that story with Kevin McCall. Cause I'm like, you're leaving out some details, sis. Cause she said that they weren't like a real couple. I'm like, the fuck you say, girl? You lying? You're lying. You're rewriting your history, girl. We know that you and Kevin were together for what? What, they were together for like 2 years, right? And they were engaged to be married. So I'm like, girl, you know you lying, but I'm gonna let you live on that one, Eva. But you are clearly lying, saying that y'all were not together like that. Yes, the hell y'all were. Because the way she was talking, you would think that it was just a one night. Actually, the way she was talking, you would literally think it was like a one night stand, but it wasn't. Now, she said he did beat her. Again, like I said, you guys, I'm not going to discredit that because I don't know that situation, and I'm not going to speak on it. Now, you guys, there is one girl that I used to follow on Twitter. She is so, I'm going to have to be honest with you guys, she's so fucking annoying. I don't give a fuck if she watches this video. She's annoying. It's like you live for this housewife shit. You get so invested in this shit. Like, cause she said, cause I saw her tweet. I don't follow her anymore because my old Twitter is gone. But she showed up on my timeline when I was, tweeting about the housewives. And she was talking about, Eva, you guys, when Nene said that Eva came to Atlanta didn't even have $17 or something like that shit. She said, yeah, that's true because Eva used to sleep on my friend's couch when she was out there in LA, and I know that for a fact. How do you know that for a fact? You're the same person that said that you know for a fact that the girl Brandy Redmond here on Real Housewives of Dallas, for a fact that her husband is cheating on her, and that her son that she adopted was her husband's son with his mistress. And this is I'm not saying none of this shit is true. This is all alleged. But the fact that you supposedly know about that one, the Real Housewives of Dallas stuff, I'm like, you don't even live in Texas. You live in a different state. But you got sources that said this. You're the same one that had sources that Greg has an alleged baby on the outside of Nene's relationship with him. That still has not been proven, but what the fuck ever, I don't care. I just hate when people get so invested in these stupid ass reality shows. If you don't know these women from a can of fucking paint, mind your business. That's what I hate about stands. I'm so sorry. It's stands that I don't like. Like, y'all get so invested in these people's lives, and you talk shit about them, and you talk shit to them as if you know them personally. You see a glimpse of their life on these shows. They film for what, from 3 to 6 months. It's 3 to 6 months process of this shit. They only give you you get 45 minutes of an episode. It doesn't show their full lives. Like, I don't get how. And then y'all go up so hard for them, and it's like, are you on a payroll for defending them? Damn, y'all got some miserable. You got to be a miserable motherfucker to do all that kind of shit. I am not gonna go up with somebody that I don't fucking know and they're not fucking paying me. The fuck? The fuck? Let's move on. So then we talk about Portia and Dennis. She says that she and Dennis are good. They in quarantine together. She did. Now, Andy did ask her about these recent events with the girl, with him at the diner at 4 in the morning. She said she didn't want to speak on it on Watch What Happens Live, but she was upset about it. She knew he was going to the club, but she didn't know that he was going out after the club. She talks about the fact that people, the comments about the rabies. She says it was disgusting, but she did expect it with these girls. She does say with the relationship, she feels that, she did move too fast, and I'm glad you can admit that. So then Andy asked Candy, why didn't she speak on Dennis and Portia's relationship? Was it to protect their, budding friendship? And she says, yeah, I didn't feel like I needed to speak on it, and I'm glad she didn't. Then Nene chimes in asking, well, wouldn't that be if you can say that, can't you understand why I don't want to speak on Wendy Williams? Candy was like, girl, that is not the same. I'm like, thank you, that is not the same. But, I mean, if Nene want to draw a comparison, girl, let her draw a comparison, but it was a bad one. So then, while we're on this up, since they were talking about Nene and Candy, Andy decided, hey, let's bring up this whole situation with this YouTube channel where you were talking about someone having a spinoff. Nene said that she was not talking about Candy. Candy says, girl, yes, you were talking about me. Who else were you talking about? There's only 2 people that you could be talking about. and Kim is not on this show, and Lisa Vanderpump is on a different show. So if you talk, I mean, Candy said, no, you were talking about me because you said this right when production started filming for my other show. I'm like, exactly. Um, now as far now I'm gonna speak on this because I don't think I've talked about this whole situation with Candy and Nene. Nene, I don't find you that I mean, she's entertaining, yes, but to give her a spinoff, what would it be about? That's the question that I have. What would a spinoff show with Nene be about? Candy has stuff outside of Real Housewives that she can do that is not related to Real Housewives. I mean, because if you take a look at it, everything, every spinoff from the girls, it is titled Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it presents Candy's ski trip, Candy's wedding, Nene's wedding, Portia's having a baby. It's still under the Real Housewives of Atlanta's umbrella. The only two people from Housewives franchises that has shows that is not directly tied to Real Housewives of anything: Atlanta, Beverly Hills, New York, Miami, which no longer exists, Dallas, New Jersey, DC, which no longer exists. Like, the only people who've done that is Kim and actually it's been Kim, it's been Bethany, and it's been Lisa Vanderpump. Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump Rules was able to happen because those kids are not a part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So that didn't take away from Lisa Vanderpump's storyline. And even still, with Vanderpump Rules, I know the first two seasons at least they would do a crossover event. So Lisa Vanderpump would have an event where her SUR cast was the cast of Vanderpump Rules who worked at SUR was at her party. Like the year that she brought Sheena Shea to that party that Brandy Glanville was at. So they integrated it, and then it was its own thing on Vanderpump Rules. So, and with Kim Zolciak, Kim left Real Housewives of Atlanta and got tardy for the party. I don't know what the fuck she got it for, but she got it. And Bethany Frankel, she's had her spinoffs with her ex-husband. Short-lived, but she had her spinoffs. So none of those necessarily tied in. Well, I don't know how Bethany's story tied into, if it tied into her show to New York Housewives. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Bethany. I don't like Bethany. So, but yeah. Then Nene and Candy started going back and forth with each other, and eventually had to mute their asses. I'm like, thank God. Because Nene said that, if she had anything to say about Candy, she would have said it to her. I'm like, well, obviously you didn't. But she said she texted Candy and said that it wasn't about her. Girl, it was about her. Own up to it. I don't know who told Eva to chime in once again, but she needed to chime the hell out. So then we end the episode up. We're talking to Cynthia about her and Kenya's relationship. Nene was talking throughout the whole segment, showing, and then she just closed her laptop and left. Now I did see that she had a piece of paper on her laptop. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But it is what it is. Now Cynthia did say that her relationship with Nene, the relationship itself was toxic. She wasn't saying that Nene was toxic, but that's where Real Housewives of Atlanta ended. You guys be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. Please share this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, you guys.